Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading. So you might be interested in that. Buddy, good afternoon. I guess I'm afternoon today. But wow, boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. Man, it's interesting. I've been talking to the pro channel just last night. I was like, Bitcoin looks so ugly. Like every time we make an attempt to have some sort of a recovery, it gets flatter and flatter and weaker. And we're in a terrible place to be having tons of weakness. Like we're already at the bottom of this thing, and I'm like, it's just, we're just in a pretty rough spot. So this candle closes, the day ends in 5 hours and 48 minutes, and we are testing an area that is our lowest candle body. If I zoom out here, like we haven't seen a close this low this entire, like, for years. Like last time we were over here was in 2020. Yeah, these lows here, this is really unusual, but the weakness in the market is unmistakable. A few days ago I mentioned that our lowest close was 18,979, and this was June 18th, and this is what a lot of people have been pointing to as the cycle bottom. And in fact, I thought it was the cycle bottom until we had a couple of these candles, and I'm like, we're down there. I mean, this line here was kind of our final support, and we closed below it here. And if we don't show some serious signs of recovery, and you have to kind of do it quick, because it's gotta bounce. We gotta move, and we gotta show life. And when we hit these lows and we just really went flat and rolled over, I just knew that it was only a matter of time that Bitcoin was just gonna have a struggling day. Well, today we've gone below that number. Our low today is 18,855. And our lowest close was 18,979. If we close the day in the 18,000s of any kind, we're about ready to have a major sell-off. I don't think it's going to be tame. I think we're going to have a major sell-off, and we will get, I'm betting we will find wicks lower than here. We've kind of talked about this, and I think it all had to do with our monthly close, that this setup here was a continuation, and I think we're seeing that play out. It's pretty incredible. I mean, I'm in a place in my financial positions where I'm looking forward to a nice drop. I would love a drop. It would be super. I would love to snipe it down here, and we've already talked about where that could possibly be. I mean, when we're butting up against our prior all-time high, that's one thing, but the body of that prior all-time high is this number here. It's our $14,000 situation. We hit it again here. we had a perfect, this is how you cross major resistance. You hit it and get close, and then you break through really strong in the next candle. Like, this is how these things break. What did we do here? We've butted up against it, and now we're gonna have a candle. So the best thing that could possibly happen for Bitcoin is that we have a major bottom and we bounce like crazy. That would turn everything around. But if we even get close to 14,000, I'll tell you, I'll be moving in like crazy. I'll be moving in fast on Bitcoin here. So this is definitely amazing. I mean, it's always unnerving to see this happen, and this is going to unravel the rest of the market and we're seeing that already. Like a lot of these coins, I mean, everything's in the red today. And that brings us to Ethereum. So on the pro channel last night, I pointed out that our head and shoulders is invalid. We did get a close yesterday that invalidated our head and shoulders. So we had a head and shoulders right here. This head and shoulders has a target of it was 12,000, or excuse me, 1,250. But when we close this far above the neckline, this head and shoulders is now an invalidated formation. The odds of a head and shoulders resolving is about 76%. So the odds are good. That's why I was trading it. But when it's invalidated, now you've got a question. Now what do you do? In my mind, and I told this to the pro channel last night, I just don't think that it's time to switch sides on Ethereum yet. And the reason why is we haven't seen a corrective move here. Ethereum has only gone, ever since this bottom that was established here, August 28th and 9th, we've only had an upward move. And I would love to close my position and exit more gracefully by being patient and waiting for some kind of a leg down for support, and then we can move on. So I was like, I'm just not ready to get out of this position unless we close above the 50 or have some major kind of move that says, you know, this really could be a continuation and I just don't want to miss the boat. Then, you know, I think I'll just take the big L and go ahead and swallow it, and we'll just flip sides and move on. But I did not close my position. I put an order to break even. And one of the main motivating reasons why I didn't flip sides and change things was because I thought that Bitcoin was going to melt down. If Bitcoin melts down, it's going to take the rest of the market with it. And I know that Ethereum will be no exception. Even though the merge is happening, all this bullish stuff is happening on Ethereum, believe me, if Bitcoin was even remotely strong, Ethereum would be flying. We'd be way out here. I would have never had the guts to take a short. But the weakness that Bitcoin is showing is going to have repercussions across the rest of the market. And that's where I've decided to be patient and hang on to my upside down position. And I'm going to wait until whatever happens to Bitcoin happens. And if I exit at break even, I'll be happy. it'll be fine. So that kind of takes care of Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't think the bleeding is over. I think this is just the start. Of course, we have to wait for close. If we have a giant support candle, that could change everything. But playing around down in the low 19,000s is a pretty dangerous territory to be playing in. If we get a close below this low on Bitcoin, it's going to cause institutionals and large investors to play on that fear. It's not that they think that the Bitcoin is down. They just know that there are profits to be made by pushing it further. And that's just the power of the people with the power to manipulate. And if we get anything, even a wick below this, it'll be huge. Our wick down here, our cycle low that we've been calling is 17,614. If we wick down to 17,500 or something, we could have a really long wick, or we could have a couple of days that are just kind of meltdown days. So as long as we're emotionally and financially ready for that, we're in a golden spot. So the rest of the positions that we're long on, we're being patient. It's that small position size that saves us when we're dealing with adverse markets, because when you think you're diversified and the entire market's doing the same thing. You're not as diversified as you thought you were. So that's why we keep positions small, and we just invest with a portion of our total. A couple of trades that we have been waiting for. We shorted Unify because it exited the green zone, and we've watched this thing do nothing for days and days and days, and maybe this is our catalyst. Maybe this will move this into a profitable situation, so we might be able to cash in on Unify. The rest of these we are going long on, and there are a couple of little greens here and there, but they're certainly the exception. So there's really not much else to talk about besides I've got two last things. One is we did have another close. ENS is a coin that I had kind of made a mistake. ENS, we were kind of playing around with the 200, and we exited the yellow zone, and so I decided to go long on it. And I just, for some reason, when I made the trade, I didn't realize that we were above all three averages. If we're above the 50, the 200, and the 100, in any order, if we're all the way up in this area, we are not looking to go long. We're looking for moves up, sure, but we're waiting for a green zone. If we're up here above the averages and we don't get into the yellow zone and we're just flying, then we're just going to hold the position, and we're going to wait for a beautiful exit in the green zone, or we're going to wait for it to flip from green to yellow. But if we exit early and things get messy, we don't want to be entering trades when we are above all three averages. We're looking for short opportunities. So anyway, I decided that because of that mistake, I was going to go ahead and just close the position, and we did. So we ended the position, and so we put in our $1,000. We made $497, a 49% gain. So far, our closed positions since doing this channel are, here's the results. Now, obviously, I've got plenty of open orders that are less than this. So this just reflects our closed orders. If I take the loss on Ethereum, it's more than this, because I didn't invest 1,000 on Ethereum. I put in 10,000, so it's gonna be more significant. But this is just for transparency, I figure for those of you who are watching me trade and wondering how I'm doing it, this just kind of gives you a feel for exactly what is happening. And if you're interested in knowing where I'm placing my trades, I'm literally trading in front of you on the Pro channel. So you can see all of my decisions and everything that I'm doing. And then finally, Luna Classic. Everyone is wondering if I'm surviving this. So the funny thing is, a normal retail trader that shorts something that does this would be liquidated. There's no question. This is how you blow up an account. This is how you get liquidated. From our first initial move to the tip top of today's candle is a 428% return. Nobody, especially somebody who took my short right here, I thought I was being pretty patient to wait for the top. I shorted this at 26 with 5x leverage. So if you 5x leverage something and then it goes up 60% in a single day, almost everyone would be liquidated. So for those of you who are wondering, like, how on earth did he not get liquidated? Like, that's the purpose of the Pro channel. It's the reason I've done it is to show you that you can make mistakes trading. As long as your risk management is in place, and as long as you know what to do, if you have a backup plan for when things go wrong, you can mitigate almost any situation. And so, no, I did not get liquidated. In fact, I took a second short position at 391 right here. So I took a second short position last night right here. So my average is now 331, something in here, somewhere in there. And the people on the Pro channel, you know exactly how I'm mitigating risk. You know exactly how I'm trying to pare down exposure. You know what my plan C is if this goes wrong, because this could go wrong. I mean, we're not out of the woods, but there is there's a lot to learn about, you know, trading is less of a, in my mind, it's less of a casino as it is a kind of a discovery in self mastery. It's self control. It's taking measured, data driven decisions. It's taking an educated guess, living with the consequences. There's a lot more maturity involved in the type of trading that I do than putting it all on black and hoping you get lucky. Because people who put it all on black and hope to get lucky, they may get lucky 99% of the time, but that 1% will liquidate them every time. You can blow up an account no matter what it is. And, you know, I'm telling you, I'm not always right. In fact, you can see that I was wrong, but I'm doing things to take a trade that went the wrong way and make it a profitable trade. And I fully expect to make money on this trade. So a couple things that's helping my case. As far as do I think that we're finally finding the top? I think we're close. On the 1 hour chart, we did form a head and shoulders. You guys see this? It's a 1 hour chart, so it's not, you know, it doesn't have the same strength. It doesn't have the same strength as a daily chart or anything like that. But it's still a valid formation right here. Just barely happened. So next candle, if we close below this, we should probably have a sell-off. And also, the other thing is that we are showing on the daily chart is, here, let me just fix the setting really quick so we don't, it likes to show that head and shoulders on other time frames that it doesn't make sense on. So let me go back to the daily. This type of a day is you know, if we close anywhere remotely here, there's a very high probability chance that this is going to be a bearish candle. We've got a very long wick. If we have any red body and this wick, it's going to be bearish. Also, if we break even and we just have a doji candle that's a spinning top, it's bearish as well. And because it's at the top of this giant run. And honestly, this coin, even if it was to continue, it needs a place to gather its footing. There's been no chance for a swing high to have a support place. You need a retracement and actually get some footing before you keep going, even in the healthiest chart. And this is a super unhealthy chart. This is not a good looking chart. But if I was to get, you know, if my risk management was off and my strategy was bad, I should have been liquidated. Like most people would be liquidated here and it wouldn't have mattered. But lucky me for being patient and having risk management. This is going to be a profitable trade because there's a ton of downward pressure on this thing. And as long as I can stay in the game and pair my risk, it'll go my way eventually. I just have to be patient. And that's the same thing with the rest of this market. Look at all these red numbers. There's a lot of coins that I have that are upside down, but it's just a matter of time. When Bitcoin and Ethereum finally hit their bottoms and figure out where their final stand is, it's all up from here for years. So all these positions that I'm just waiting patiently on, they'll come back around. And in fact, I actually don't mind some of these dropping really good. I mean, let's just find a nice low one. We'll just go with not even dash. Let's find something ugly. Let's see, what do we have? There's a lot of coins that are struggling, but anything that's really dropping hard, we're in the red zone. it's pulling down our 50 and it's pulling down our other averages. And if we can get the 50 and all these other averages to drop lower, well, the next time we exit the red zone, our buy-in is going to be higher reward, lower risk. Our prices are cheaper. The upward side is even better. And those are the trades you want. You can sit in an upside down trade up here all day long as you've got the liquidity for it. But if we drop all the way down to the very bottom and then we get another perfect trade setup, just by breaking even, just by coming back, you can double, triple, quintuple your position. And so we just love markets to do their thing. We're not trying to force the market to do anything. If it wants to bleed off, we'll take advantage of it. If it's going up too high and things are just insane and it's unsustainable, sure, we'll make money doing that too. And the times that we're not making money, we're just gonna be patient. So, I mean, trading isn't as hard as you think it is. It just takes a lot of self-control and risk management and patience. And eventually it'll come your way and everything will work out. So anyway, everybody hold on tight. It's a wild market out there, but we will navigate it together and we'll come out better on top, on the other end. So anyway, good video. We will catch you all tomorrow. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.